Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with a video.
I'm a 27-year-old man. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and she's 27. She's the love of my life, and no matter what happens, I just can't live without her. She was the only girl who saw my worth and treated me nicely, saved me from bullying, and helped me make friends. Basically, she helped me a lot in my life. I am the man I am today because of her, and I make sure every now and then to make her feel good. And I'm sure that she too is also in love with me, or at least she says she is. To keep the spark alive, we make sure to spend one whole day, i.e., Sundays, with each other. And the rule is no one calls over their personal guests or goes out with friends unless other arrangements to cover up are made and are discussed in advance. This was the first time that she ever had an urgent meeting with her friends, and she didn't discuss it with me earlier and just told me about it in the morning and was gone for the whole day. I spent the whole day playing and cuddling with our fur baby. This is the first time that she's ever done that, and when I checked her social media, she had posted nothing, and that's so unusual of her to do. It just got me worried about her as she was gone for 4 hours without a single update, and I didn't want to annoy her, so I just kept quiet and waited for her. An hour later, she comes back home all tired and everything, and after freshening herself up, goes straight to bed to sleep. I am not suspicious of her, but things that are happening are just a bit weird. I trust her, but a part of me is still insecure about the whole thing. She's always on her phone these days. We have no action in the bedroom, as she's always tired, and I don't know. I love her, but just don't want to lose her. I just deep inside hope that she isn't doing anything that will break our home and my heart. I don't have any solid proof to reach to a conclusion, but I do have a voice back in my head that just keeps picking up on negative outcomes. So, as you all read above, that I've lost my peace of mind over my wife's different behavior, it all just took a turn for the worse, like I said. She's always on the phone, and this Sunday she again cancelled our date and went out with the same friends. She claims that these friends are her online Discord friends, and she is just being their guide each Sunday because that's the only day that she's free, and they may never come back to the US, so they are meeting as much as they can. I have no issues for her to have her own friends, but ditching me all the time isn't nice enough, even though she made up for that Sunday date and spent time with me on Wednesday. But again, a Sunday? And that too, she was on her phone the whole time, and she stays at home all the time and is on the phone. So she basically has all the time to be on her phone and can focus on me for at least an hour. But she said I offended her and just think that she has other things to do, like cleaning stuff. She was right. She does work a lot, but that wasn't my point. I didn't want to piss her off and waste the little time that we get together, so I apologized and moved on. But I didn't deserve that, so I feel bad, and I don't know anymore. I will say I think that she's cheating on me, and I will prove it to her soon. I've decided I'm putting spy cameras in my house to check if she really does anything else instead of just being on her phone. I installed security cameras when she went to the Society Women's meeting and made sure that they were hidden properly so that she couldn't find them. Day 1 and day 2 were all normal. On day 3, I saw her getting ready and leaving for somewhere. That's literally how she dresses up when we go out, and I think I know where she went. She came back before 4. I returned home at 5. She didn't seem very interested in having me back home. She doesn't kiss me when I'm back at home anymore. When I asked her if she went out anywhere today, she just said, yeah, to a casual family dinner. No, nothing about it was casual. She was all pretty and dressed up, and I know there's this new man who she's seeing. I am pretty sure of this one, but I just need some proof. Then I noticed these pretty flowers on the kitchen shelf. That's her favorite flower. He brought it for her, I guess. When I asked her about it, she told me my friend bought me those flowers. I asked about who this friend was, and she told me that I don't know this friend of hers and he's from Discord. I kind of tried to pull her leg a bit and ask why she's using an app that only teenagers use. She got pissed and told me that I know nothing about trends and stuff, and so I should just shut up. We ate and went to sleep. I told her I love her, and she went, and just fell asleep. She has never done such a thing. I just know our days together are limited, and everything will end soon. Today is the final day, and I got all the proof I need. Today, when I opened my spy camera that I installed in our bedroom, what I saw really broke my heart. All I need to do is go home and confront her and get over it. I saw how there was a child sleeping in our bed and crying, and a man, a lot better looking than me, and how she entered the room and they were all giggly to each other and carrying the baby out, and how she was shushing the baby down. If that's what she wanted, she should have just said to me honestly. Maybe she just didn't want me anyway, and thank God I found out on my own. When I return home, I will be confronting her about everything. I have already got the gym membership and a separate house for staying away for a few months. I confronted my wife, and now she's mad at me. Nothing in this was her fault. I am nothing but an insecure shithead who knows nothing about real life. So it was nothing like I thought. What happened today was when I came home, I saw my wife, the other guy, and the child sitting there and taking pictures. I arrived a lot earlier than usual to catch them red-handed. They were sitting together along with my dog, and I start talking to my wife and saying dumb and corny things. How I thought she was the real one and how much I trusted her. She gets up, looks all confused, and asks me what the hell I was talking about. Then I ask her, how long was she cheating on me with the other guy there? Both of them ask me what the hell was I talking about, and suddenly a woman comes out of the kitchen holding a bottle of water and asks me about who was cheating on who. Then I was confused about her identity and asked her the same. She informed me that she was the wife of the gentleman standing beside my wife. That was the moment that I screwed up. Suddenly, my wife connects the dots and understands what was going on and asks me how the hell even I knew they were over. In a hurry, I blurted out through spy cameras. My marriage was over after this. She tried to keep her composure in front of the guests, but they were already explaining how my wife are Discord friends, and they came over to the US, so they decided to have her as company and all, and assured me that my wife has no affair with anyone. I can feel that I have crossed my wife, and she will never forgive me. She hasn't spoken to me yet, and I don't think she ever will. Me and my wife's friends had dinner together. She only spoke to me while cracking jokes, and then she showed us the pictures that they had taken while hanging out as a presentation. The reason she didn't show it before was that she wanted the gift to be special for the couple and wanted them to see it first, and they really did a lot of activities as shown in the pictures, so it's legit that she really was tired all these days. That chat group that she is always in has people talking in it, so yeah, that's why she's most of the time on the phone. And guess what? I messed up. Well, this is the last update ever, and things are going good now. My wife forgave me, and I'm working on myself a lot. I left my old job and got a new job that pays better. I have been going to the gym and therapy for my self-esteem issues, as many of you suggested. Things are getting better, and we are even trying for a baby. And the friends went back to France after 2 days. We didn't hang out as they had family to visit, so next time. Everything ended fine and well. I am surprised that you got forgiven, but you are not an a-hole, but a pathetic, insecure husband. Please take therapy seriously and change yourself. If your wife is simply smiling at someone, doesn't mean that she's cheating on you. If she loved you truly, she would never, and moreover, stop doubting her. She sounds like a nice woman. They are rare. Handle the situation while you can. Stop that overthinking. Well, you made your wife sound so bad in everything, like bro. She should have just dumped you and went to France with them. Yes, YTA for doubting her and embarrassing her. Find God, please.
Next story.
I'm a 42-year-old woman and my husband's 38, and I've been married for 4 years now. He only has Cole, 17, male, from a previous marriage, and we don't have any more children. Cole doesn't like me at all. I guess he was hoping that his parents would go back together, but never did. I tried my best to connect with him since I've known him for 9 years now, but he's just not interested. He's constantly reminding me that this is not my house, that I'm not his mother, that as soon as he's 18, he won't engage with me anymore, that I'm nobody to be parenting him, etc. My husband is always grounding and talking to him because if he doesn't like me, then that's okay, but he must respect him. Cole even went to the extent of cooking his own food and doing his own laundry so I don't touch his things. His mom bought him a car last year, and when we say he can't use it for fun, he says that I'm no one to tell him that, and that his mom gave it to him to use as he pleases, so I should stay in my line. He treats me as a nobody taking over his space. I can't even tell him to do things or ask how his day went because he'll answer badly. My husband and I have one rule in the house: not unannounced or uninvited people. That means family, my or his parents, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, my husband's ex, etc., or friends. If Cole wants to have someone over, he must ask before. Well, yesterday, I got home from work around 3 p.m., and he was in the living room with the boy, laughing and playing. I asked what was this about, and he just sighed and said that Romans, his parents, had an emergency, and he didn't want to be alone, so he invited him for a few hours since they would go back around 5 or 6. I said that was against the rule, and Cole said, whatever, it's better that he's here and not alone at his house, so just chill, and went back to play. I was about to talk again when I just said, the rule, and he snapped, saying, the rule is stupid. This was an emergency. It's not like I'm having a party. Back off. We went silent for a few seconds, and when I looked at Roman and said, sorry, but you have to leave now, it's our rule. And Cole snapped again and said, let's go. I don't have to stay here either. He also called me a controlling witch, and they both left. My husband is absolutely mad at me. He said I was an AH because this case was obviously an exception since Roman was here for support, and not just because Cole wanted to piss me off. But I differ. He was acting pretty rude. I asked if Cole asked him for permission, and he said no. But that he was doing something good for a friend, and I overreacted. I was tired of fighting, so I also left. Apparently, Cole got back as soon as he found out I wasn't there. YTA, your stepson invited his friend because he has his sister in the hospital and he felt alone. And you cared more about a stupid rule and holding a 17-year-old to a 42 and 38-year-old standards? Your stepson is right. This is so stupid. You cared more about asserting dominance and letting your stepson and his friend know that you were in charge there instead of noticing how he was helping and supporting someone he cares about, and threw Roman out of the house just because you could. This was an exception to your stupid rule. ETA, OP answered a comment saying that the house is owned by her husband and his ex-wife, so it'll be passed down to Cole. So people to keep saying it's his house, he doesn't pay any bills, she's right for doing that in her house. LOL, no. She came there and started to demand stupidities. She has known her husband and his ex for a while. So Cole knew her before all of this. No wonder why he doesn't like her. YTA, let's see this from a different angle. Imagine your husband gets in an accident. You follow him to hospital, your stepson is at school, and goes home to his friend, so he doesn't need to go to an empty home while worrying about his father's well-being. He gets kicked out by his friend's stepmom because it's a rule. So now he's on his own, worried for his father's life, scared and lonely. You think it's reasonable?
Next story.
So basically, my youngest sister and I have separate rooms. She wanted to have a sleepover with her friend, so my mom made it happen. But the problem was my sister has a small bed that only fit one person, that person being her. So my mom called my aunt behind my back and asked her if I could sleep at her house the day my sister was having a sleepover. My aunt said yes. During all that, not one person told me anything. The next day, my sister's friend was knocking at the door. My sister opened the door excitedly and greeted her. I was so confused, and then my mom told me to pack my stuff. She told me what was happening. Then I told her that I was uncomfortable with the person I don't know sleeping in my room, surrounded by my private personal stuff and homework. I'm a teenager, while my sister and her friend are like 10. I also told her that she should have told me this was going to happen instead of basically kicking me out of the house for one night. I would have said no, and if I said yes, I would have slept at my friend's house, not my aunt. She then told me that it was too late now and my sister's friend wasn't dirty and she wasn't going to steal anything. I told her that I simply wasn't comfortable with someone spending a whole night in my room without supervision. She promised me that she was going to keep the door open at night and lock the door when my sister's friend wakes up. I agreed, mostly because it was disrespectful not to agree since my sister's friend already arrived and my aunt is expecting me. The next day, I came back home only to find my sister and her friend in a fight, and my sister was in her room with her door locked, and her friend was in my room with the door locked. I got mad and confronted my mom. She said that there wasn't much that she could do since they were having an argument and my sister locked herself in her room. I said that she could have sent my sister's friend back home, but not let her lock herself in my room after I specifically told her not to. She then told me that I was being dramatic and inconsiderate and selfish from the very beginning, and that my sister wanted a sleepover and the guests needed a bed to sleep in. I told her that maybe I was being inconsiderate and selfish, but this is my room and I deserve my privacy, and I told her that she promised that she wouldn't let my sister's friend go into my room unless she wanted to sleep. The disagreement turned into a fight, and now me and my mom aren't talking. My dad told me that my mother deserves respect. I told him that I deserve privacy. He said that I always had an attitude and then walked away. I went into my room after my sister's friend left and found everything all over the place. I didn't tell my parents, since we aren't really talking, but it turned out that my sister's friend either threw a tantrum or she decided she wanted to ruin everything and make a mess. Or she wanted to play with her stuff. AITA? NTA. Tell your parents to buy an air mattress or foldable futon for your sister's guests. Or do what most kids do and sleep on a couch or floor.